In this video we're going to make a two-part 3D printable box. First up, I am going to confirm that my camera is set to orthographic mode, which yours should be by default. I'm also going to confirm that I'm going to change my preferences by clicking on assemblies and making sure that this button is unticked. If you untick it and then you hit apply, okay, it will stay off for the rest of the time that you use Fusion. For all my videos, this is the way that I'm going to be working. It just makes things easier, trust me. Okay, so I'm going to click save, and I'm going to call this two-part 3D print box. I'm going to click save. I'm going to start with a new component. I'm going to call this base. And I'm actually going to create another component right now just to make this simple. So when I create another component, I need to go back to the kind of the top layer, and then I create my component, and I'm going to call this one lid. So these should be sitting next to each other. If you don't select the top component when you make your new one, or your top object here, your component will end up being inside another component, and that's not what we want. If that does happen, you can simply click and you can drag it and you can drop it there. Okay, but you should have a base and a lid. So let's click to activate the base, and let's add a sketch. So I'm going to click on this bottom plane, and I'm just going to hide this away for now, we don't need it. I'm going to select a center point rectangle. I'm going to click right here in a space that's called the origin, where these lines intersect. I'm going to click once and drag out, and then I'm not going to click again. I'm going to use numbers to specify the size. So 50 by 50 is 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters, which is 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. And if you're not sure what that looks like, there's plenty of rulers in the classroom that you can grab and have one sitting next to you to help you while you're modeling. I'm going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to click on the extrude. You can also press E on the keyboard to do this. And I'm going to type 30. So that's going to be 30 millimeters, 3 centimeters, and it's pulling our 2D sketch into the 3D world. Also, remember, if you're not sure, you can hover your mouse over something and it'll pop up and it'll show you the shortcut, and it'll also give you a brief explanation of what it's going to do. Okay, so next up we are going to use the fillet command, and you can see here F can activate it, and it's going to round the edges. So I'm going to click on this one here. I'm going to use the shift key and 2 fingers to swipe round here. Click on that one. If you select something by accident, you can click on it again to deselect it. And you can see here that I've got 4 edges selected. Now you can click and you can drag this, or you can type in some numbers into this box. So you can go from 5 to 10 to 15. In this case, I'm going to stick with 5 that I had first up, and I'm just going to hit enter, or you can press the OK button. And then I am going to hit on shell, and you see that that's going to allow us to hollow out our body here. So I can click in the top section, and again you can use the arrow key. It's a little bit kind of chunky to control. If you've got a small object, it's a lot easier just to type in the numbers. So I'm going to go with walls that are 3 millimeters, and that's going to apply to the sides and also to the bottom. So shift key and 2 fingers to look about. I should say that if you get yourself into a position that's not ideal, you can just tap here and it'll take you back to that home view. Okay, so I think that's probably all we're going to do to the bottom right now. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to click on my lid component, and I'm going to do a sketch to start this, and I'm going to click on top of my kind of lip of my box here, my base. So I'm going to click on it, and from here I'm going to borrow the lines from the base component, and to do that I'm going to press P on the keyboard for project, and I'm going to click right in the middle here and then hit OK, and those lines should now go purple, and we can use them in our lid component. So I'm actually going to hide the bottom bit away. I'm going to press extrude, or you could click E, drag these two sections, or click in those two sections, and then let's make the top of our box 5mm. I can hit return or OK. And then I want to have a little insert bit that's going to come down to fit into the base. But once you use a sketch, Fusion is going to automatically hide it. So you need to go in here, activate it again, extrude. And this time if I type in a number, say I want this to come down by 3mm, you see it goes red and this says cut. So this is us actually cutting into the top. But if we press -3, it's going to go the other way. And it says join now. So I've created a little lip that if I, let me hide this sketch again. And I can just actually minimize all that. I can hit my home button. In fact, let's bring back our base and then hit the home button. So you can see what we've got at this point, and our base is going to fit in here. One thing to remember is, in fact, let's do something called a chamfer first. So I've got my lid selected. I can go up to modify, and chamfer is going to add not a rounded corner like a fillet, but a 45-degree angle corner. And this is good for 3D printing. It adds to the strength of your part, and it looks nice as well. So I'm just going to click on this top bit here, and that should automatically select the outline for us. And I'm just going to press 1. Okay, so you can see this chamfer is going to be applied all the way around. I'm going to click to select my base. I'm going to go down here to the bottom. I'm going to hit escape so that I don't have anything selected and make any mistakes. I'm going to choose chamfer, click on the bottom, and just press 1 again. Okay, so we've got a nice lid and base that have both got chamfered bottoms. We've got rounded corners. There's only one more thing to do, and we're going to do it on the lid. And I left it to the end because this bit is kind of like specific to 3D printing. So I'm going to hide the base. I'm going to escape so I've got nothing selected. I'm going to zoom in, it's my normal trackpad kind of gesture. Shift and 2 fingers. So this is the bit that's going to fit inside of our base. Sometimes 3D printers are going to have plastic that's like the holes are not going to be exactly the size that they are shown in these CAD models. We need to have a little bit of tolerance to allow for 3D printing. So I'm going to use the push-pull command here. That's going to allow us to either push the part in this case making it a little bit smaller, or pull it out to make it bigger. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to actually go around here and select all of this. There is kind of faster ways of selecting stuff that we'll look at in the future, but for just now, let's keep it simple. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And this is going to be a very small number. Because the arrow's pointing out, we want to do a negative number because we want to push it in. So I'm going to say minus 0.05. So that's basically 1/20th of a millimeter, a very small amount. But if you think about it, it's going to be applied to both sides. So really it's going to end up making the little kind of bit that we've got here to fit into our base, it's going to be 0.1 smaller. And that should be enough of a tolerance for our 3D printer so it fits nice and snugly. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to bring back my base. And I'm going to do just a couple more things to show you how we can... Oh, no, in fact, I forgot. Let's add some text on here. Okay, so I'm going to do a sketch. I'm going to make sure that I've got my lid component. I'm going to click here. And don't forget, when you're using the text option, you want to click in. Okay, it's telling me blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now. You want to kind of draw over the area and then use the alignment tools to position it. So I'm going to click here once. I'm going to click down here. And then if I use center and middle, you can see that this is going to be right in the middle of my lid. I'm just going to call this my box. I know it's a little bit lame. Oh, what happened here? Go away. I don't want that. So I'm going to choose font. Now, any font you install on your Mac is going to be available in here. But if you install it while using Fusion, you might need to restart Fusion in order for it to appear on that menu. You can change the size in here by changing these numbers. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to finish my sketch. And you can see that I can now, if I hit escape, deselect everything, and I can come across and I can grab my text. Oh, I'm going to press E for extrude this time, so I dropped my tool there by accident. And now you can either drag it with the mouse, or you can be more specific by typing into the box. So I could say, give me 2 millimeters, where my text is going to like pop out like this. But I want to print my lid upside down, so that would be kind of not ideal for 3D printing. We could use some support on the bottom. It wouldn't be too much, so it would be fine. But in this example, I'm actually going to cut it into it. And this is a good lesson about how to use this timeline at the bottom. We can go back and change any of these numbers later on. So I can say edit feature, and rather than 2, I can say minus 1.5. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Edit feature. So I still had the join operation here. I need to change this to cut. And then now it should cut in there. Yeah, so if I can give it a little look, that looks pretty nice. Finally, I'm going to add some color to this. So I'm going to press A, which is a shortcut for the appearance menu. And I'm going to scroll down to where it says plastic. And these little things mean that you have to download it, but the file is so small that even on the school Wi-Fi it should download in seconds. Don't be worried too much about the actual colours, because you can change them really easily. For instance, I can just grab this and I can drop it onto the bottom of my box, and I could drag this one and drop it up here, and those materials are going to appear here in your appearance section. You can double click on them. You can actually go in here and you can adjust the colours as you want. So I could have like this kind of setup. So you might have got used to it now, but this orthographic view is not exactly as you'd see it in the real world. Orthographic means this line here is going to be the same size as this bit over here. Like, it kind of drops the depth of field. If you want to see it in a more realistic way, you can go into camera and you can switch perspective on, which makes it a little bit more realistic looking. Okay, but when we're doing modeling, it's usually orthographic that we would use. Yeah, so that's it. That's our box. We'll look at how we can print it in the future.